In this video, we are going to take some derivatives of a couple of new functions. So we're going to take the derivative of e to the x, and we're going to take the derivative of the natural log of x. Now, these are just rules that you are going to need to know. So you're just going to have to memorize these formulas. So the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. So that's a really easy function, right? So the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. The derivative of b to the x for some number other than e, or also true for e, is b to the x times ln of b. So, of course, these formulas are the same when you're looking at e to the x, because e to the x ln of e is just 1, so that's just e to the x. So these formulas are the same. In theory, you could work just with the second formula, but of course, that's a harder formula than the e to the x formula, and probably e to the x shows up more often. Okay, so one thing to note, the derivative of e to the x is not x e to the x minus 1. We cannot use the power rule. The power rule applies to functions. If we had a function f of x equals x to the n, then the derivative of this function, f prime of x, is n x to the n minus 1, right? And the difference here, of course, is in this function, the base is x, the variable, and the exponent, n, is the constant, whereas in this function, it's the other way around, right? The e is a constant, the x is the variable. Okay, so we're just going to practice. F of x equals e to the x over 2. Well, that's just 1/2 times e to the x, and we have a rule for functions which are a constant times another function. That's just the constant times the derivative of the function. So f prime of x equals 1/2. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x. F of x is 2e to the x plus x squared. We've got that constant rule again here, and then we have the sum of two functions, which is the sum of the derivatives. So f prime of x equals 2 times the derivative of e to the x is simply e to the x, plus, now we've got a power rule, 2, bring the exponent down, x to the power 2 minus 1, which is 1, so 2x. The last function, negative 7x to the e minus 2e to the x plus e squared. Again, we've got the sum or the difference of a bunch of functions. We have some power rules, we have the derivative of e to the x, and so on. So, derivative of the first function, f prime of x equals negative 7. This is a power rule because we have the variable in the base, and the exponent is a constant. It's the constant e. So we bring e down, e, x to the e minus 1. Next function, minus 2. Taking the derivative of e to the x, just e to the x, plus e squared. Well, e is a constant. The constant squared is also a constant, so that's just 0. Next set of functions, f of x equals 3 to the x over 2. So again, we have a constant, 1/2, which we'll bring out, times the derivative of 3 to the x is 3 to the x times ln of 3. To rule, we got to know, I'll write it up here, if f of x equals b to the x, then f prime of x equals b to the x ln b. Okay, the next function, 2 times 4 to the x plus x squared is our function. F prime of x equals 2 times 4 to the x ln 4 plus, again, this is just a power rule, bring the exponent down, 2x to the power 1. Again, one thing to be really careful about here is 2 times 4 to the power x is not 8 to the x. Last problem, negative 7x to the 5th minus 25 to the power x plus 5 squared. The derivative is negative 7 times 5x to the 4th, power rule, minus 25 to the power x times ln of 25 plus 0. Here we can multiply, so negative 35x to the fourth minus 25 to the x ln of 25. Okay, so again, be careful. If I'm asking you a question like what's the derivative, these are both acceptable answers, but be careful, power rule and e to the x give you very different answers, and you have to be careful about which one's the appropriate function to use. Okay, the derivative of ln of x is 1 over x. Again, relatively straightforward. We could also have the log base b, and the derivative of that is 1 over x times ln of b. Ln of b now is in the denominator, whereas with e to the x it was in the numerator. Okay, some more problems. F of x equals 5 times ln of x. Well, f prime of x equals 5, constant bring out, times 1 over x. The derivative of ln of x is 1 over x, so it's 5 over x. F of x equals x squared plus ln of x cubed. We don't know how to take the derivative of ln of x cubed yet. We'll learn that a couple of lessons away, but we'll learn that. So we need to rewrite this first. So that's x squared plus property of natural logs 3 ln x. Now we can take the derivative. F prime of x equals x squared, that's a power rule, 2x to the 1, plus 3 times 1 over x equals 2x plus 3 over x. F of x equals negative ln of 1 over 3x. Okay, we need to do a little work on this function first. That's negative ln of 3x to the minus 1 equals, we can bring the minus sign out, cancels with that minus sign, so we get positive. That's ln of 3x, which of course is ln of 3 plus ln of x. The derivative of this function, well, the derivative of ln of 3, that's just some number, a little bit bigger than 1, because 3 is a little bit bigger than e. So that's some number. We take the derivative of a constant, that's 0, plus ln of x. The derivative of ln of x is 1 over x. Okay, some more derivatives. 5 times log base 5 of x. Well, the 5 comes out times 1 over x ln 5. So our rule is if f of x equals log base b of x, then f prime of x equals 1 divided by x ln b. So that's our rule. Okay, so that's our function here. We had a 5 here as a constant in front, so we bring that out. 5 times 1 over x ln 5. F of x equals x squared plus log base 4 of x cubed. Again, we need to do a little bit of work. X squared plus 3 log base 4 of x. So f prime of x equals 2x, power rule, plus 3 over x ln of 4. So again, we've got a constant, the 3, it comes out. The derivative of log base 4 of x is 1 over x ln of 4. And for the last one, negative log base 12, 1 over 3x. Okay, we have to do a little work. F of x equals 1 over 3x is 3x to the minus 1. We bring the minus 1 out, so that's plus log base 12 of 3x. And then if we're multiplying things together inside the log function, that's the sum. So we get log base 12 of 3 plus log base 12 of x. So f prime of x, the derivative is, first term, that's a constant. Derivative of a constant is 0. Plus, second term's log base 12 of x, so that's just 1 over x ln 12. And that's it. So that's how we do these. The only way to really get a handle on this is to practice, practice, practice. So you need to just practice these problems, do problems like this with exponentials, with logs, and this will sink in.